Good evening, everybody, and welcome to the playoff edition of 2 for 4 here on YawkeyBaseball.com. Once again, I'm Pete Lankarge, and along with me tonight is Brandon Eaton of the East Boston Knights, winners of the Yaz Division this year.
How are we doing, everybody?
So we're on location at Trum Field for Game 2 of the Yawkey League Finals, where once again the Alabrandies are taking on the Bulldogs. But before we get to that, let's discuss the regular season and a few MVP candidates.
Pete, we have MVPs this year from 4 different teams, I believe. We have the Stoneham Sabres with Mike Robinson hitting .450 with league-leading 39 hits. I think that's amazing. We also have Wilson Mercado of the East Boston Knights, league-leading .482 average and 28 RBIs, which is tied at 3rd in the league. Then we have Mike McGuire hitting .406 with 30 stolen bases and leading the league with 39 runs scored. That's amazing, guys. That's just out of this world. Then we also have Drew Tamblin of the McKay Club. He hit .414 with 6 home runs, which led the Yawkey League this year. That's just outstanding. A great year for Drew Tamblin.
But there's definitely some guys also that weren't in the mix that were legitimate MVP shots. So we had those 4 guys, but there's definitely some other room for argument there. So I know Brendan has his opinion, and we all have our opinions, but what do you guys think at home? Let us know. If you have ideas, post them on the YouTube comments section, and then we'll see what everyone thinks. And now let's discuss some playoff action.
Yeah,
we had some surprises this year. There were 4 teams that made the playoffs this year that didn't make it last year, which means there were 12 teams out of 16 made the playoffs in 2 years.
50% turnover this year.
It's incredible.
It's a great job this year by all these new teams.
Yeah, which once again speaks to the parity in this league, which is something we all are proud of. So now let's discuss what's happened in the playoffs. Brandon, you want to recap what happened in the first and second rounds of the playoffs?
Absolutely. In the first round, we had the Al Thomas A's defeating the Brighton Braves in 3 games. We also had the Stoneham Sabres defeating my East Boston Knights in 3 games. We had the Malden Bulldogs, who had the best series in the first round, winning it 3-2 over the Revere Rockies. And we also had the Somerville Alabrandies, who took down the South Boston Saints in 3 games, with only a combined 5 runs total for them in the first round. In the second round, we had Somerville, the defending champs, beating Stoneham Sabres in 4 games. And we also had the Malden Bulldogs taking down the Al Thomas A's in 4 games.
Which brings us right here back to Trum, where, again, everyone knows the same 2 teams are here. It's the Bulldogs and the Alabrandies for the 2nd year in a row in the finals. But what do you guys think? Is this a close series? It's a little fun fact that we dug up. It turns out that in the last 20 meetings between these 2 teams, playoffs and regular season, the Alabrandies have won 15 of those 20. That just blows my mind. So now, Brendan, is this the same Bulldogs team that the Alabrandies have had that much success against?
Well, if you take a look at these 2012 playoffs, the Malden Bulldogs, you'd like to say that it's not the same team because you have ace Ken Luongo, who is 0-3 in these playoffs, and yet these Malden Bulldogs are right here in Game 2 with a lead right here behind us to take back this momentum in this best-of-7 series, and anything can happen from there.
You bet. So now, let's discuss, before we go, a couple of the standout performances so far in the playoffs. We had on the mound Chris Dion of the Stoneham Sabres, had an absolutely tremendous postseason. He went 2-1, but he threw 3 complete games and only allowed the 2 runs. But he also threw a 1-hit shutout in 8 innings over these very potent Somerville Alabrandies brats.
That's just amazing. So. Me pitching against Somerville this year, I know just how tough it is to pitch 1 game against him. He came and he pitched 2 games against him. 1 in extra innings and the other one on 2 days rest. Amazing.
Absolutely lights out. And a couple of offensive performances. We had on my team, the Braves, we had Brian Schwartz hit .615 in the postseason. Billy Uberti hit .545 with 5 doubles in 3 games. John Costas of the A's hit .545 with 9 RBIs in 7 games. He's an underrated player for sure. One of the just rocks of this league who just gets it done consistently year after year.
Absolutely.
Kevin Salinas of the Bulldogs in the postseason so far is hitting .548 with 6 RBIs. Mike Robinson of the Sabres hit .522 with 5 RBIs. And Kenny Luongo is hitting .450 with 6 RBIs. So a bunch of standout performances in the playoffs. And obviously still more to go, which we're looking forward to seeing. And we don't know what's going to happen, but Brandon, you want to wrap this up for us here?
Yeah, that's about all we have time for today. But just remember, guys, even though these 2012 playoffs led to the two same exact teams in the finals once again between the Bulldogs and Somerville Alabraineys, just keep in mind, this Yawkey League has a lot of upcoming teams, and it's going to be fun for years to come. So stay tuned, guys.
Thanks a lot, and we'll see you in the offseason.